Say. Mr. Peter Calamis. I'm looking to see Jason Momoa. Returning to Dragon Con after far too long, Miss Tori Higginson. Mr. Joe Flanigan. I believe we're going to have a later level. We do have a Cliff. Is he here? Yay, Cliff Simon! I didn't know you were here.
I feel like an afterthought.
Never. You're welcome. How have you been today? I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked the audience. How are you enjoying Dragon Con this year?
I'm having a ball. Me and Joe are having a ball, aren't we, buddy?
We didn't get arrested, and that's good.
There's always tonight, boys.
Say that again?
She said there's always tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear what you said. Has there been any interesting costumes you've seen that stand out in your mind? Oh my God, I can't
I just have to grab it. Is she in here right now? Okay, we can go walking outside. I'm pretty impressed.
I've seen some awesome ones, and then I saw a guy with just a box on his head. And it wasn't even like the box was painted. It was just that you'd think his friends would stop him before he left the house. How's this look? Good. Nobody's going to be wearing that.
There's a guy just in Spanx. Very subtle. They look refreshing.
Yeah, I was just on the elevator, and I'm like this. I'm going up to my floor, and the guy goes, "Oh, I like that. Stargate Man at Shepard." That's cool. I really like that show. That's what you're going for, right? And I go, yeah, that's me. And he goes, yeah, no, it's perfect. It works. Thanks. Go figure.
I'm going to skip straight into the fun questions. Y'all are already setting the tone. We're always hearing about antics on set. Do you have a favorite memory from working on the Stargate franchise? You just started.
Well, you know what? First of all, I mean, everyone was always playing jokes on everyone there. The biggest joke on set, of course, as you all know and you've heard over the years, is Chris Judge. What he likes to do, he never did it to me, but what he likes to do, and I like the story, you get guest stars coming up and down to the shows, and of course, they're there every day. Guest stars come on set and they're all nervous, they never worked or whatever, they haven't met the people. What Chris would do, he would go into the trailer at like 6 a.m. in the morning before the guy arrives or the girl arrives, whoever it is, and he would cover the toilet seat in the trailer with saran wrap, right, real tight. And when you come into the trailer at 6 a.m. in the morning and you've been out, you've been partying a little bit, you're not looking at anything, you open it up and you take a pee. That's it. And then of course it goes everywhere. That was Chris's favorite trick. And I know you did a lot. And of course his farting is great. But yeah, those are good stories, but they never really... Actually, Richard one day just didn't arrive for my scene that I had with him. He thought it was funny if he would just stay in the other studio with the air conditioning. And I thought it was funny. Yeah. And he came in and he's like, so what's up? So that's Richard.
This one wasn't my guy. This is one that Louis Ferrer played on Robert Carlyle. Just about to do a scene, and Robert comes up and he goes, I found cameras in my trailer. What are you talking about? Little tiny cameras taping me. I'm like, what? Yeah, and it gets worse. I went to wardrobe and they've got images there of me inside. So Louis, they weren't cameras, but so he had set this whole thing up to make Robert think that he was being spied on and he's changing. So he goes, I'm going up to production right now. They're gonna hit it. You should do that.
You know what I remember, Jason?
Oh
no. We had these trailers where one person would be on one side and there was a very thin wall separating the dressing rooms. And Jason was on the other side of me for a good couple of years there.
What was it doing?
Well, I don't know what you were doing. It's all kinds of smells and noises coming from the vents.
Was the trailer going like this or like this?
Only when I was trying to nap.
I used to say, I remember when we first started the first episode, the pilot of Atlantis, and I at the same time was shooting one of the episodes of SG-1, and I thought there was these two very different worlds, because on our pilot we were all kind of, it was the first show, so it was like kids' first day of school, all sort of behaving well. I used to sort of say we didn't get into trouble until you showed up. I think that's when
the trouble.
That's when the trouble started. That's when we were like, but you'd go to the SG-1 set and there's a bunch of like kids acting up and farting and being loud. And then you go to our set and it sort of felt like brown noses just for about a year or two. Then everybody sort of lightened up.
Oh, wow.
Well, I didn't know what was going on in your trailer though.
My favorite moments were always when you could pull some kind of prank on somebody, it was easy to always get Jason involved with the prank. I think the one with David was pretty good though. Yeah, we were shooting like another 12-hour day out in the woods, and you know, David's like, I really hate the outdoors. There's oxygen, bugs, nature. And he was pretty grumpy by the time we wrapped, so we get back in the car. It's a 45-minute drive back to Vancouver. And my car is a double cab F450, but David's in a little tiny red Echo. And he's got the seat pushed so far forward, like the steering wheel's like right here. And he's like, and I was like, in the rearview mirror, I go, hey, Jason, check it out. It's David. It's David, right? He goes, yeah, let's get him. So we came cruising up in this big black truck, and by the time we arrived, David looked up and saw a giant black hole that resembled a little bit of Jason's ass. Yeah. Yeah, but we got David to smile, so we were safe. But he was definitely disturbed for a couple of days after that.
Well, that sets us up for the next one. Which aspect of Stargate did you enjoy working on most? The drama, the comedy, or the action? Or was there something else entirely?
Well, I didn't have a lot of lines, so I guess I'd have to say action.
JT for a comedy guy.
Yeah, I enjoyed the comedy.
I like when drama turned into comedy unintentionally. There was a scene once I was in the, I was blowtorching the corridor, and it's an actual flame. They don't give me a train. Just they hand me an open flame, and they go, yeah, just pretend to kind of weld the door. So I'm welding the door, and I'm doing the scene, and I'm supposed to turn around to Carla and a couple other people, and I'm still doing my lines, and then I see their eyes kind of go. I'll like hear Andy Makita go, cut! Can somebody put the fire up?
I had nothing but drama. We was always like the serious, sort of worried girl with a furrowed brow. So I loved it when they got her out of the red shirt and she had a little bit of action. That was sort of my funnest part.
I had no idea we were doing comedy. I'm a little embarrassed right now. God, it was one of those unusual shows where you get to do really 3 separate things, and they don't really make television so much that way. They go super niche genre-like. And to me, I guess, my favorite parts were doing the action and then having a moment of comedy. You know, that just little moment where you can say that smart-ass thing. And, but nothing beats running around with guns and getting paid for it, you know. It's fun.
I just remember being like handcuffed and kidnapped in the woods all the time.
But we're talking about on the show, Jill.
I didn't know what was happening. And they were all written by Carl Binder. It was like the same writer who was writing all of those episodes with me bound and gagged. And he just wrote an episode of my new show where my character gets pulled over and strip searched. I need to have a conversation with Carl. Or avoid Carl.
There could be a restraining order on the scripts.
What?
Never mind. A little more drama I was trying to do.
Well, I'm just going to lead into the next. Tell us about some of the stuff you're working on now, or have been. A lot of us have missed a lot of you, so tell us where we can find you in the near future. On film. Walk of Fame.
On Skid Row or Beach. Well, I'll start. I haven't got anything coming out currently, theatrically. I'm working on 2 projects. I'm producing a true life story about the first African American who swam the English Channel. It's called The Black Butterfly. It's a true story, it's still around. And the other is a sci-fi western called Dust, all steampunk genre, which we've been putting together for a few years. So those are my 2 main projects I've been working on, and yeah, then other than that, just doing a lot of commercial stuff and working for PayPal.
I'm on a new show called The LA Complex. Thanks, Jay. And then I have a still quite secret project being developed with sci-fi that will hopefully come to fruition in the fall.
It's called Dust.
I wish. Call me.
So do I.
Just finished shooting directing my first movie, and we're just in post right now, and I'm going to submit beginning of October for Sundance, and cross your fingers, hopefully we get in. And then I'm going to Toronto to do a werewolf movie, so. Me running around, not saying much, looking like another big, huge stretch.
Jason, you must have the thinnest scripts out of anyone I ever met, right? Like, great, man.
For me, I just recorded a comedy special that anybody can download online. It's thestandupcomedians.com, and you can download your special for $25. So my theory is, if you're looking at a laugh per dollar ratio, it's like $1 a laugh.
Yeah.
40 minutes. I think, I'm not good at math, but I think that's a pretty good average.
I took a lot of this year I took off for all kinds of exciting reasons, and now I'm back at it. I'm doing some writing, and I'm really enjoying the other side of it, wearing the hat. The scary thing, though, is as an actor, you can blame everybody else when something isn't good. You can say, oh, the script was weak, or the director wasn't what I thought. Sort of finding that very intimidating with writing, because you go, yeah, I just have myself to blame right now. But it's a very interesting process. And I also just joined a theater company in LA called the Road Theater, which premieres all new works. So I work with them over the winter.
I've been doing some movies. I did a movie, an action movie, the greatest action movie ever, shot in Romania ever, with Jean-Claude Van Damme ever. So I'm just trying to make space on my fireplace mantle for the awards right now. But it was actually a lot of fun, and I think that it's coming out next month. It's called 6 Bullets. And then I did what is kind of a really trippy sci-fi, hardcore kind of action sci-fi thing, which is based out of the Heavy Metal magazine, and which I think is all just drug-induced storytelling. And it definitely is better on drugs. That should be coming out soon, and that's called Heavy Metal. And then I'm doing another super top secret project that Electronic Arts is doing for a video game, and it's so secret I don't think I've even been paid yet.
I think it's time to go to the audience for some questions. Meredith, you have a cue? All right, Nicholas, go ahead.
The show is obviously about discovering new life forms and exploring new worlds. However, do any of you actually believe in extraterrestrial life? And if so, does it leave you with a sense of wonder or a sense of fear? And depending on your answer, I might have to wipe your memories.
I've seen a lot of aliens here this weekend. If that counts. And I think they're awesome. I do believe that there are extraterrestrials.
I would say the only people I believe 100% is I don't believe anybody that believes anything 100%.
I'm like 99% on aliens.
I think the idea of not, believing that we're the only people is kind of the only sentient creatures is kind of crazy thought. But I think I love the idea of us being visited by people from another planet, because it might be the only thing that gets us to wake up and stop hating each other, which is kind of what I love about sci-fi.
I believe in everything, especially after, as I was saying, watching the Republican National Convention last night. So science fiction lives. But nonetheless, I think that the beauty of the genre is that it can be as profound as you want it to be. You can watch the show and just say, it's good guys, bad guys, and watch things blow up, and that's cool. Or you can, see the analogies that the people are drawing, and it can be very profound, and I think that that's cool, because you can kind of veil a message where a lot of these terrestrial shows, if that's what you want to call them, their messages tend to be a little more hard-hitting, and they tend to be more pedantic, and I think we can really hide a lot in our show and not be too annoying and preachy. That's my take on things.
Thanks, Joe. Yes, I believe in aliens.
I'm with Jason. What a shocking surprise. Have you guys seen that movie Contact? So the nerdy side of me, showing a little bit, I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. And I always think about that sort of thing happening and them out there contacting us that way. It's a more romantic way of looking at it maybe, but what else is new? It's me.
Yeah, I would like to believe it. Yeah, what can I say? I would have no fear of it either. No. If they came down and wanted to take me away, I would go in 1 second. 1 second, I would be gone.
Even if it was ball?
Even if it was ball. Yep. Especially if it was ball. All 20 of them. 40, sorry, 40. 20 equals 40. Thank you very much. I'm here all week.
Next question, the left side.
Why are you leaving?
This is for Peter Clemens.
Why are you leaving? Why?
On the special features on SGU, for those who haven't seen it, you did a little work with Patrick Gilmore, and I believe you were sort of trying to create a new episode, and you had some very interesting interaction with Lou Diamond Phillips and Jen Spence. I wonder if you could just talk about that special feature real quick, for those who haven't seen it, and some of the surprises that came about.
Sure. We came up with the idea that we were going to be this kind of, not that it was a stretch, we were going to be two morons trying to write a Stargate script, because the producers would do it all the time and the writers, so how hard can it be? So we came up with this episode called We Be Jammin', where, aliens come on to Destiny and I'm like fighting with one, and then I go, Vulcar, hit it! And then he hits it into FDL, and I throw the alien up, and then they hit the wall, and they're made of jam, and then that's our food source. We kept writing love scenes for each other and pretty much every female character on the ship. And then Brody's making time with Park, and then Volker's outside in a spacesuit, and he looks in and he's in love with her, and a tear comes down and he's in space, so it starts floating back up again. So I'm going to take too long here, but so behind the scenes we'll interview the other actors and get their opinions and stuff. So Lou Diamond Phillips, we go, hey, can we just come into the trailer, do whatever you want, we're going to ask you your opinion on filmmaking. He's like, yeah, sure. So we open up the door, we come in, cameras rolling, and just before he sits down, he yanks his pants down, so he's just sitting there in his gaunch. So I'm Canadian, underwear. And then he's completely straight face, he does the whole interview with his underwear. And we're just trying to maintain eye contact. And then with Jen Spence, she's so nice and dainty, you think. But in person, she loves like really dirty jokes, and she's nasty. So we go, how about we ask you what we should do with the script, and then you're gonna go on this filthy tirade of foul words and whatever comes out of your mouth. And she's like, yeah. And then she got concerned that somebody might be able to read her lips, and so we had to put a logo, SGU logo, over her mouth because she was so concerned. But it's the filth that came out of her. Awesome.
Next question over here on the right.
Hi, this question is for Joel. Your character kind of flirted with Ronan for like a hot second, and then all of a sudden you're with McKay. How did you feel about that romance and how it ended up?
Dr. Keller and Jewel are two totally different people. I think Dr. Keller and McKay have a lot in common. I think they come from a similar place, and I think they're soulmates in a lot of ways. So I completely agree.
I find it disturbing also.
Oh God. That's what I'm going to say about that. I'm pleading the fifth entirely, and I'm going to start blushing in a second. So we're going to stop this conversation. Please, I beg of you. Next question. Next question. Left side.
With the shows no longer in the air and so many story arcs unresolved, were there any specific ones you guys wish you'd had a chance to complete?
Yeah. I would like to get laid. I have a theory behind that, where think if Ronan did get some, he would lose all his powers. And he wouldn't be that angry. He wouldn't be that angry. Like, oh, guys. He'd just be a lazy guy, big smile. Cut the same thing's hair, you know? That's why he's so pissed, man.
Thank God you didn't get laid while you're backing me up.
I kind of wanted to see the Shepard and Taylor thing happen already. It's just really frustrating to watch that go down. For me.
For me too, Joe. Yeah, there's so many stories that could have been explored. I mean, I could have gotten laid. No, but truthfully, I think that the most promising storyline that really should have been explored was the romance between Beckett and McKay. So it was very subtle. It's going on for 5 years, and people actually took them a while to realize that we had to actually have the kiss on screen. But it was always there. Go back and look at all the scenes, it's there.
We had one of the last episodes that Weir did, and they built this really sexy leather jacket, and they had me in this spaceship, and I thought, awesome. There's going to be an evil replicator Weir. Never happened.
Me? Well, all could have been laid as well. There's nothing else I can say. I should have made female clothes, exactly. Less balls.
The fact that you guys were not afraid to do the big moral and ethical questions. You weren't afraid to explore that. So what I want to know is if that was something you, as an actor, you enjoyed, or if that was something you had a hard time with sometimes.
I don't know.
Could you repeat that? Some of us didn't hear the question.
Something I really enjoyed about Stargate was that you guys were not afraid to explore the big moral and ethical questions. And what my question was, is that something that you enjoyed as an actor, or something that you had trouble with sometimes?
We're ethics.
Somebody's gonna have to explain to Jason what ethics are and morals.
They certainly don't get in the way.
That's the first intelligent question we've had, and we can't answer that.
Anybody?
My character, no, I mean, what could I explore in that? He had no morals, he had no ethics, he had nothing, so. But that is a very good question, and yes, as an actor, that's definitely the exciting part to explore in normal shows, put it that way.
I think that whole question is what got me. I used to say I didn't like sci-fi, I didn't really get it, I wasn't exposed to it that much, and a lot of what made me fall in love with it was that it's just a great genre to do that. You can explore politics and philosophical questions and religion in a way that doesn't end up in a war. Well, it does on screen, but, you know, it doesn't end up in a fist fight. You can actually go places. So I think that's exciting, and I would get excited when they would bring those up in scripts.
Yeah, like I said, sci-fi, you can see it as profound as you want to see it, or as silly as you want to see it. I chose to see it as silly a little bit. But when you look at it, there's no doubt there's profound messages and so forth. But like I said, I'm not into hitting people over the head with it. And it was hard for me to push. They wanted to keep my character light, and I kept wanting to make him a little darker. And there was a fight over that, and they said that the hero guy can't be dark, you know. So I said, "What are you talking about? Look at Darth Vader." And he's not the hero. I go, he's not. So anyway, you know, thank you for seeing all that stuff in the show. I put that in.
For me, I just was proud that SGU did, I think, address many things that a lot of other sci-fi shows maybe either were scared to address before, say, you know, whether it was lesbian or gay relationships and suicides, terminal illnesses. So I was just very proud to be a show that kind of delved that deep into things.
You can talk about your gay relationships without choking out.
We were wondering, everybody else was getting together, and especially Gilmore and I were like, man, I think we might be gay. Like everybody else is getting together, and then I think we're gay. And then we fell in love with Lisa Park's character, and I'm like, I'm the gay guy.
While are we ready down here, Jason?
Yeah. Thank you first, Jason. That was very gentlemanly. Thank you. I got a question for Joe. I've heard. You know.
Somebody turn Jason's microphone off.
He just did. He lost the kid. No, you can take that
That's all right, sweetheart. We're right here. Tons of time. Take your time.
I was wondering, I heard bits and pieces of a story of you and McGillian getting into a wrestling match. I didn't hear the whole thing. I was wondering if you would be good enough to kind of tell us that story and kind of fill in the gaps, please.
I guess we're talking about gay relationships. It makes sense when we're talking about the wrestling. No, actually, one night, Jason, I lived on the top floor of this hotel in Vancouver for the last 3 years of the show. And Jason was looking for an apartment, and he's like, "Hey, dude." He calls me Joji, and I call him Moji, and it's all like a little too intimate, right? And he's like, "Dude, Joji, I just gotta hang out in your place till I find an apartment." So a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, maybe 3 weeks go by, and finally I'm like, I get it. There's the room. Thankfully it was a 2-bedroom place. And after that, we had like bear rugs, coyote heads, and people, it became a little odd suite at this hotel, and people like to visit, and Paul McGillian would come by, and one night, and we were a little slackered, I guess, which is unusual, because I usually read my lines and go straight to bed. And Paul, I always messed with him, hit him and stuff, and it's like, let's wrestle. I go, okay, let's wrestle. Well, little did I know that he was like nationally ranked in Canada. And he literally had me in a lock that I couldn't breathe. But I was like,
but Joe wouldn't give up. That's the thing. You don't like to just give up. I was like sitting there eating food above that. Bro, just give up. It's a fucking professional wrestler.
There's no fucking way I'm going to give him the pleasure of a tap out. It doesn't hurt at all. So he goes, I can't hurt number one, dude. I can't hurt number one. The producers will be mad. So, yeah, I learned a lot. I kind of stepped back a little after that. He's a tough little guy. Old Scottish bastard. So.
I have a weird story about that. Not you and your wrestling stuff on the bearskin rug, because that's just weird. You said it. I was at a bar with Paul once, and this guy was being drunk and really inappropriate, and he went to touch me in a weird way, and I've never seen Paul move that fast in my life. He grabbed that guy, he had his hands behind his back, and him down on the bar in like a second, and then got him up and out of the bar. It all happened within like 8 seconds, and I was just shocked.
It really hurt when he hit me to the ground. I got a scar back there.
I was wondering if you could really travel to different planets, what kind of planets would you like to travel to?
Nice planets? Open bar planets?
I'll go to that planet. Who's driving? Not you, buddy. There you go. Perfect.
My beach would be, imagine this. Imagine the Earth, but the whole top part of the Earth is the ocean. And on the bottom, right on the bottom, like where the Arctic is, Antarctic, whatever, it's just this tiny piece of land. With beach all the way around it. That's it. I don't care whether it's on top or the bottom.
Well, that's a awesome thing.
It's you. It's not us, it's you. What I'm saying is I just want a beach. I've had beaches. You guys are slow today. I would like one huge beach. That's it. Actually, like in Contact. That's like the beach you kind of went to.
Don't bring me into this.
I'm not saying you have to be there.
What is happening?
I was just saying, nobody else is answering. Okay, let's go to the left.
Would you each tell us how you got your part in the franchise?
I slept my weight. I don't know about these guys, but they probably do the same. No, also, I mean, I knew Mike Greenberg for quite a few years before I got on the show. We never spoke about the show. His wife is, I used to work with her in South Africa on various shows we did together, and then I knew she married Mike. I eventually immigrated to the United States, and I met Mike. We became very good friends, and he approached me one day. I would never approach somebody and push myself onto them for a show. And once Mike got to know me and he could trust me, he offered me the role. He said he didn't know what the role was yet, but he would like me in the show. And I said, fantastic, I'd love to be in the show. And so the character of Bal was actually created with me in mind. Yeah. So I never actually read for Bal. He just appeared. And I got a call and they said that your script's on your way to you, and that was it. Yeah. That's how I got it. And thank God for you guys, the character worked, and that's why he stayed in the show. And I put a little bit of effort in.
When I auditioned, they had they didn't know how many scientists they were going to have on the ship. So they just had generic slides that we all had to read, but they didn't tell us that till later. So I got the slides and I'm reading the description. They go, scientist so-and-so walks in the door who has a very Eeyore-like physicality. I don't even want this gig. So, but went in, read it, and then found it. It was fairly quick, about a week later that I got it, and it was awesome.
Who's next?
I have Blue Joe, so. Okay.
I actually see our community was the crowd.
I can't.
Actually, the way Jason got his job is very funny, actually. Really funny. He went in and they flew me down to LA to read with the new guys they were trying to get. And they had I think 3 or 4 guys, right? Yeah, 3 guys. And, the first guy comes in and he's like, my people, they suffer. I was like, oh, that guy sucks. And the next guy came, did a really good job, but he was kind of small, right? And then Jason came in, and did his thing, and there was something peculiar about Jason. I mean, the fact that he was like, 8.5 feet tall, had dreadlocks and everything. And of course, the producers and I were like, oh, Jason's perfect. And the network was like, they like my people, they suffer. That guy. So it took some time to do that stuff, but it worked out well. And I got my job. It was just a kind of a fluke. Somebody asked my manager, and I went in and razzle-dazzled them with my spaceship skills.
You want to go to her?
Very boring. Except I was going to say, I just a regular thing. I was in LA and I got a call from my Canadian agent and went into audition. And what I found funny that you and I never talked about is when I was brought in the second time to meet the producers and to read with you, I guess, they were reading people. And you and I, the first time we met, we were given like a room to, I guess you were reading with all the possible different people that day too. And we had a room to go over the scene and we started talking about something and we immediately got into an argument. We got into a political debate just before this, like, sort of, it was very, I thought, well, I fucked the job now. But it seemed to work for us.
Yeah, it was good. And sparks flew right away. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay, you ready?
I played a rape in season 2, and I was very uncomfortable and in a lot of prosthetics. And when I said yes to the job, I didn't know what a rape was. I hadn't seen the show. And they said on the breakdown, some prosthetics required. And I had a head cast and, my eyes measured for contacts and really realized what I was getting into. And spent a very uncomfortable week at work. And then they asked me if I wanted to come back. And I said, yeah, as anything else. And they offered me the role of Keller, I guess, a year later. Yeah.
Actually, there's a really funny story about me and Joel.
Oh no.
It's pretty good. I saw him at this club and around, partying, drinking, doing what we do, and this girl comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, Jason." I was all like, "Fuck." I didn't do anything wrong. What? Who are you? I was like panicking, and she's like, "I'm Jewel. She's had the prosthetics on every day." So I didn't know. We'd hang out and talk about whatever, and I mean, obviously I had to beat her up in the show or whatever like that, but I was totally like fucking shocked there, because I was like, I didn't do it. Who are you?
When I met Paul, he didn't know who I was either, and it was here at DragonCon. And I just wrapped the show or something that year, and I saw him in the VIP green room thingy, and I said, "Hi, Paul," and he was like, "Hi." And I was like, "You don't remember me, do you?" And he was like, "No, I don't." And I was like, "I'm not hitting on you, Paul." And explained who I was. Yeah.
I got a funny prosthetic story. I was going to this Disney film called Can of Worms, and they had me as a space cop. It was over the top, prosthetics all the way down the body, a wire through the back, a siren with a battery pack on my head, ears coming out like 2 feet. And then they had these blood red contacts that they had to put in. So I was already almost in full makeup, and they bring the gal who's like the contact lens wrangler. Right? So she puts them in and out, and she's hot, smoking hot. Right? And I'm sitting there cracking jokes, and she's, "Hey, so funny." And she's got to follow me around all day because I can't see, so I got to hold on to her, and she's, "Oh, so hot." And I don't know if I mentioned that I was making her laugh. But I was. She's on it, right? And I'm like thinking I should ask her out. At the end of the day, 13 hours of makeup, 2 hours on set. Right? So I'm sweating, go to the makeup trailer, and they pull all this stuff off. And it was just before I'd asked her, "Yeah, you want to go on something?" She goes, "I'll be right back." They pull the makeup off, and she enters the makeup trailer, and I'm melted pretty much. And I look up, and she goes, "No."
Paul will go out with you.
We're gonna have so much fun next time he's here. All right, we have time for one more question. Let's take the one on the left.
Hi, Jason.
Hi.
It's for you. Question is, what was your favorite episode that you were in, of course?
My favorite episode? I'm sure we can all answer this. Your own favorite episodes, since it's the last question, right?
Right.
My favorite was, I got two. I love fighting with Chris Judge. It really was fun working with him. And then, you know, Sachita, just because I don't really get that much stuff, you know, so it's just fun to have a nice big episode all about you. And, you know, Shepard comes and rescues me.
Well, after what you did for me to get the job, I felt
What are your favorite episodes?
For me, I think, of course, Abyss, because that's where O'Neill and Ball kind of got their bands going. And, you know, picked up on each other's sense of humor and it just carried right through for years. And then besides that, I liked, you know, Continuum for me was like doing one big episode. So shooting that was great, because that, especially for the character of Ball. So Continuum was a lot of fun. Very confusing because of the time travel. I had no idea where I was. Looking at the scripts, it was like, I did not know where I was. You know, I would just tell Martin just tell me what scene we're doing, because I don't know where I am in the story. So yeah, Continuum and Abyss, of course, yeah.
There was a two-parter in season 5 that I really loved near the end. I can't remember the name of it, but I just thought it was really well done, and I loved watching that one. And I loved doing Trio, just because watching David Hewlett feel really uncomfortable is super fun. Right? And he was like, he was covered in like dirt, and he was sweaty and asked to climb up on things and wear a harness, and he was just so miserable. I just laugh when he's miserable. I don't know
why. For me, it was an epilogue towards the end of season 2, when they turned me into like old man Brody, and I was the guy that was telling everybody to get off my lawn. But I actually, before that though, I auditioned for SG-1 countless times and could never get cast. I had written it off, I was never going to get cast. And I finally got cast, it was Peter DeLuise. And it was a scene where my character had stolen a mimic device. And so they got me in a holding room, and Chris Judge is supposed to come in. And Chris doesn't have one line. He's just supposed to intimidate me. So he just... It took him like 5 minutes just to sit down, right? And I'm supposed to be really scared. And so we do the first take, and I guess I wasn't scared enough, because DeLuise comes in and goes, okay, listen, you sit down, right? Now, you're scared. And you get a thing. This guy might rape you. Action. And scene.
I think that was my favorite episode. I had a few. I think probably Last Goodbye, because I missed having guns. I used to have a lot of guns. I used to do all the bad B-movie action films in Canada, and so it's been a while since I picked up a gun, and I got to kiss him.
I like Vegas the best. Yeah. And of course, his episode.
I just know I'm going to regret it, but are there any last things you want to leave us with? Dangerous ground, my friends.
No, I just wanted to say thanks for all the support. You know, sitting up there with everyone right now, just kind of reliving some of the moments. I laughed my ass off, and it was the greatest 4 years I've ever had on anything. And it was truly just, we got paid to go to work and laugh and do some art and entertain people. So I just had that moment up here. I miss you guys so fucking much.
All of you.
but thanks for a great